was walking on the pavement, just jamming out, listening to my music because I always did, and literally out of nowhere,
What do you reckon?
Right. So I was able to see that they pushed in.
Good. Alright, ready?
What's up guys? Welcome to the video. Today I wanted to share with you my amputee story. It's taken me a while to record this, to be honest. I mean, it's been a year and a half now. I guess I felt that it would be kind of easy to talk about and easy to share, but as I've been recording this, it's brought up so many different emotions that I wasn't expecting. I guess I thought I'd already moved past. Recording this has shown me that I definitely haven't, but yeah, I guess that's okay. I'm only human after all. If you would like to hear me share more things like this, then subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications, and leave a comment down below and leave a like as well. I will say the accent itself is pretty hazy and hard to remember, so yeah, I guess bear with me on that one. I'm sorry if you were hoping to see me in this video. To be perfectly honest, I don't feel fully comfortable with that yet. I mean, I may add a picture or a short clip of me walking somewhere in the video, and obviously the picture in the thumbnail was of me, but at this moment in time I just don't feel fully comfortable with that. So yeah, I hope you understand. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. November 1st, 2017. Boy, it was like any other day really. I had just finished work. It was just after 5. I was taking my usual route to the train station, as I was working in central London at the time. I was walking on the pavement, just jamming out, listening to my music because I always did, and literally out of nowhere, a black cab just hit me. I saw it out of the corner of my eye a split second before it hit me, but by then it was way too late. The first impact sent me flying up into the air, and on my way back down I hit the bonnet. This bit's a bit hazy, but I don't remember exactly how I went from the bonnet to the floor, but anyway, I ended up on the floor, and literally the second I hit the floor, the black cab hit me again and crashed into a lamppost, and I was crushed in between the black cab and the lamppost. I was underneath the front of the car for a few seconds before it rolled back, and I screamed out in pain. That pain was excruciating, something I had never experienced in my entire life. I looked up for a split second, and that split second was all I needed. All I saw was red on my jeans. I mean, it was quite dark. It was 5 o'clock in the evening, but I could still see the red on my jeans, and my leg wasn't straight. Looking at that for that split second was all I needed to know that something wasn't right. And then to top it off, there was the blood loss, which felt like somebody had turned the tap on full blast, because the blood was just flowing out of me rapidly. I couldn't feel my lower half. At that point I thought that my lower half was missing completely because I couldn't feel it. And then it was the blood loss for my brain, which felt like someone had pulled the plug, and it was like I could feel the water levels, or in this case the blood levels, lowering and lowering, and my mind just felt lighter and lighter, and I could feel myself losing consciousness. And at that point I was absolutely terrified, as I thought I was going to die. At that point I was convinced I was going to die. I could just feel it. Like I felt like my life was just fading away from me. Someone had come over to me to, try and help the situation and try and calm me down, because at that point I was hysterical. I kept saying that I was going to die, and they were trying to calm me down, saying that I wasn't going to die and I was going to make it, which did help a lot, to be honest. If I didn't have people there to constantly talk to me, I may have actually lost consciousness. If I had lost consciousness at that point, who knows if I would have woken up. I may not have actually made it if I didn't keep conscious. So, thankfully I did. To be honest, everything else up until the point I was knocked out is very hazy to me, or I just straight up do not remember what happened. Eventually, they put the gas mask on my face, and after a little bit of time, it put me to sleep. And it was weird. I was in this white space. For anyone that's watched Harry Potter, it was like the moment where Harry goes to the forest and Voldemort hits him with the killing curse, and then he wakes up in, I believe it's King's Cross, and he's talking to Dumbledore. That's exactly what it was like. And I was kind of conscious at that point. Like, I was obviously not awake, but it was like I was aware I was in that space. And at that point, I thought that I was dead. And it was so crazy. It was trippy. But when I did actually wake up after my operation, I hadn't fully woken up yet. I was still kind of dazed, not really knowing what was going on. And the doctor was speaking to me. I don't remember everything that he said to me, but the main thing I remember, and most important thing, was that in order to save my life, they had to amputate my left leg. Now, the first time I heard that, it didn't really sink in, to be honest. I was still waking up after the operation. I still didn't know what was going on, so I didn't really grasp the severity of the situation at first. In the beginning, it was very surreal. When I got moved up to intensive care and actually being able to look at myself for the first time and see myself hooked up to all these different machines and see my blood being drained out and experiencing the pain that I was experiencing, it was a lot to take in. Definitely a lot to take in. I felt very helpless. I wasn't able to move. I couldn't do things for myself. I couldn't wash myself. I couldn't go toilet by myself. And it was difficult. It was a hard pill to swallow. And I was so used to being able to do things for myself, and then being thrown into a situation where I have to rely on other people. It was difficult to take. And not only could I not move, I also had phantom pain to deal with as well, which was frustrating and painful, mentally and physically. And it's like you're trying to accept it from two different sides. And you're trying to accept it from a biological standpoint, because your brain is still adjusting. Your brain still thinks that something should be there, and then when you get that feeling and your brain feels like something should be there, but then your eyes are registering something completely different, and what your brain thinks should be there isn't there, it's overwhelming. And that makes it even harder to deal with. It makes it even harder to accept. And that kind of led me down the rabbit hole of wondering why I didn't die, feeling like I should have died, and the pain being so unbearable at times, just wishing that I was just dead, because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't cope. The pain was just unbearable. I couldn't sleep at night. I would fall asleep and then wake up feeling like I've been asleep for an hour. I look at the time and it's only been 10 minutes and I've woken up yet again, because the pain is just so unbearable. I can't even stay asleep. Like, for that first week and a half, I was an absolute crackhead. Oh man, like I had a timer on the morphine drip, and it was a 5-minute timer. There were so many times where I would literally be checking the time and how long is left constantly, because I just wanted to press the button again so I could get my next dose of morphine. Looking back on it now, that was definitely one of the funny moments. I mean, obviously it wasn't funny at the time, but I like to laugh at myself, so I can laugh at that now. Another thing that was challenging was feeling like I was alone. I was in hospital for a total of 3 months, and I was really in a normal hospital until I was moved to a specialist hospital for amputees, teaching them how to walk again and get used to life as they are now, really. And it was hard up until then, feeling like I was alone. There was nobody else on the ward that was like me. Nobody else had been through the same thing I had been through, and in the end it made me feel pretty depressed. I think in the next video, I'll go into a little bit more depth about the mental side of things and how it impacted my mental health and how I'm still affected by it mentally to this day. I'm 24 now. I was 22 when it happened, and at the time I felt like my life was over. But to anybody out there that's going through the same thing that I'm going through, just know that this isn't the end. Your life isn't over. This doesn't have to define you. You are no less of a man. You are no less of a woman. When you look in the mirror, you're still beautiful. If you feel self-conscious when you're out and people are looking at you, you're still beautiful. No matter where you're at on your rehab journey, you got this. You're gonna be okay. I think next time I'll go a bit deeper into the mental aspect of being an amputee and the battles that people don't see. So until then, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe and hit the notification bell to find out when the next video is. I hope you enjoy your day and take it easy.